Hi, my name is Alexandra.
Hi, and my name is Varshali. Welcome to the Respectful Relationship series.
Everyone needs good friends. Good friends are there for us, and they are kind to us, and we enjoy their company. They make us feel safe and happy. Even if they disagree with us about some things, they are respectful and honest with us.
However, there are some people who pretend to be our friends so that we will do things for them that are not okay and might even be against the law. This is called mate crime. Let's talk about bad friends, bullying, and mate crime.
How about starting with bad friends? Not all friendships are good. We have already looked at what makes a good friend or bad friend.
Bad friends are not there for us. They can make us feel upset and they are disrespectful.
Most bad friends are just bad friends, and we should stay away from them when we can. Most of the time, they don't mean to be bad friends.
A bully is worse than a bad friend. Bullying is a behavior that a person regularly does on purpose to make you feel sad, upset, and scared.
Sometimes bullies pick on people who are different to them. Examples of bullying are saying mean things to you on purpose, hurting you on purpose, making you upset on purpose.
Mate crime is when someone is not just a bad friend or even a bully. Mate crime is when someone pretends to be a good friend so that we will do things for them, like giving them money, making you do things you don't want to do that are against the law, or hurting you.
People who do make crime can often target people with disabilities on purpose.
Let's look at these scenarios and see which ones are bad friends, bullies, or mate crime. Let's think a bit more about this. Imagine you meet someone who wants to spend time with you and says nice things to you, like, "You're beautiful, you're an amazing dancer." Sounds good, right?
Sounds good to me too. That's the kind of thing a good friend would say.
The problem is there are some people who are only nice to us because they want us to do something for them. Imagine the same person who says nice things to us, then asks you to buy them something, maybe a hat.
Well, if they're a good friend, then I wouldn't mind buying them something.
I agree. Friends sometimes buy each other presents. But let's imagine that after that, this friend asks you to buy something more expensive, like shoes. And then they ask you to buy their lunch and a game for their console.
That's awkward, but it's hard to say no sometimes.
Yes, it's hard to say no to our friends. Now imagine that you respectfully say to your friend, "I don't mind buying it, but you need to pay me back." And your friend says, "I'll pay you back later," but they never do. When you ask, they say, "Don't tell anyone you bought this stuff for me, or I'll tell everyone you're lying and they will hate you forever."
That is so horrible. Why would a friend do that to you?
Exactly. Even though that person was nice to you at first, they made you buy things for them with your own money. If they don't pay you back, that is like stealing and it's called mate crime. If they threaten to do mean things to you when you ask for your money back, that is also mate crime.
Wait, so they were just pretending to be a friend the whole time?
Yes, because they wanted you to buy things for them. It's called mate crime and it's against the law. Sadly, there are other reasons why people sometimes pretend to be our friend. For example, imagine the same person who says nice things to us and wants to spend time with us. Imagine that they send you a text or a message on social media asking for a photo of you.
What's wrong with that? I send selfies to my friends all the time.
Yes, a normal selfie where you're happy and wearing all your clothes are fine to send to your friends. But if someone asks you for photos of your private parts, that is never okay. If a person who pretends to be your friend threatens you or forces you to send photos of your private parts, that is mate crime and it is against the law. It can be hard to find out that someone has committed mate crime against us because at one time they pretended to be our friend and were probably nice to us sometimes. Maybe they let us join their own group of friends, and maybe that felt nice at the time. It can feel very hurtful and be very upsetting to find out that someone you once liked has done made crime. Okay, let's think about this a bit more. Here's an example on the screen. We have two friends walking along. One friend waves hello to the other group of friends. That's okay, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh, it looks like the first friend is angry that their friend waved hello to the other people. Why would that be?
Maybe they don't want their friend to have other friends. That's not very nice.
I agree. What sort of friend is the angry person?
I would say they are a bad friend.
I would agree with you. But is it made crime?
I don't think so. Being jealous is not very nice, but is not against the law.
You're right about that. Just a bad friend then. What about the next one? Here we have one friend who seems to be doing all the talking. They haven't even noticed that their friend hasn't had a chance to speak yet.
Oh dear, that's rude.
And they're still talking.
The other friend must be getting bored by now. It's hard for some people to stop talking and remember that other people have things to say too.
The quiet friend looks sad. Some people are happy being quiet and not speaking much, but it's important to remember to check if other people want to say something.
Yes, and if they do, it's respectful to listen to them.
What do you think of the friend who's talking all the time?
Well, they need to remember to listen to other people too. They're not being a good friend right now.
I agree. Let's hope the first friend will be respectful and let the other friend speak. In a respectful friendship, friends need to listen to each other and share the talking. Is the first person a good friend or a bad friend then?
Bad friends right now, but hopefully a good friend when they remember to listen too.
Does talking a lot and not listening count as made crime?
No way, it's just a bit rude, even if they don't mean to be rude.
You're right again. It's not made crime to talk a lot. Okay, here's another example. Sometimes it's hard to tell if someone is a bad friend, a bully, or if made crime is happening. So far, we've seen examples of bad friends. Let's look at another example. What is happening here?
Well, that's obvious. The person on the bench looks sad and scared. The person behind them looks mean and nasty.
No wonder the person on the bench is crying. The other person is saying mean and horrible things to them.
Maybe this just happened once. Is that bullying?
If it just happened once, it might not be bullying. We all get upset and shout sometimes. But if it's happening all the time, the person is doing it on purpose and it makes us upset, then it is definitely bullying.
That's worse than a bad friend.
You're good at this. Of course, being mean and nasty to someone to make them upset on purpose is bullying. Is it made crime?
It should be. Bullying is never okay.
You're right, that bullying is never okay. If someone is bullying you, then it's important that you tell an adult who you trust about it so that the bully can be stopped. It's not actually made crime, though, because people who are doing made crime pretend to be our friends. This bully is not even pretending to be the sad person's friend. It's easier to spot a bully than someone doing made crime.
I don't get it. Someone pretending to be a friend is doing mate crime, but a bully is not? This doesn't make sense.
I agree. It's easier to understand bullying than made crime, but they are both very serious. We will look at some more examples. See if we can make it clearer. Here's another example. What's happening here?
So far, so good. The person is doing some colouring and they look happy to me. Oh, okay, I spoke too soon. The other person has grabbed a pencil without asking for permission.
That's not good. And now they're breaking the pencil on purpose and laughing.
More bullying. Why do people do that?
Well, there are lots of reasons why some people become bullies. But the main thing to remember is that if someone is bullying you,
Tell an adult you trust so that they can help you to stop the bullying.
okay, we've got two more scenarios left. What's going on here?
Oh, finally. Well, one person is lending their friend some money. That's generous. They look like true friends.
I agree. So far, it does look like they're true friends. Sometimes friends lend each other money, but they always pay it back. But wait, what's happening now?
Oh no, this was too good to be true. Now the friend who has taken the money is looking secretly mean, and the other person is broke. Is this what you were talking about when you said mate crime?
Right again, Alexandra. You were right to say at the start that they looked like true friends. And you're right to notice that the friend who took the money was just pretending to be a friend so that they could get the money and spend it on themselves.
Oh no, this goes from bad to worse. Now they're at a cash point and one friend is making the other friend give him even more money.
So, what's really happening here? It seems to me that the first person gave the other person money because they thought they were a friend. But
This is stealing. A true friend would never ask for all your money and spend it on themselves.
yes, it is stealing. And stealing is?
Against the law.
Of course, stealing is against the law. That's what makes it a crime. But what's happening here is called mate crime because the criminal is pretending to be a mate. And mate is another word for friend.
Mate crime. These words shouldn't go together, but they mean different things.
And that's the tricky part to understand. There are some people who just pretend to be mates or friends so that they can do things like stealing. There are other ways that people break the law too.
What? What else is mate crime?
Well, for example, if someone is pretending to be your friend and then they ask you to send pictures of your private parts, that is against the law.
Sending pictures of your private parts is very inappropriate.
Yes, you should never do that. But making someone send pictures of their private parts is against the law. That's mate crime.
But what if someone is scared of a person asking for pictures of their private parts? Will they get into trouble?
No, if someone asks you to send pictures of your private parts, tell an adult you trust immediately. I think we should do one more example because it's important to understand what to do if someone asks you for your pictures of your private parts. Okay, here's the last example. What's happening here?
Well, that's a man and a woman on their phones. What are they texting? It says, let's send funny pictures. Lol, funny pictures are good. I like cat memes.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with funny cat memes for sure. Okay, what does the next message say?
He sent a picture of his top half. Naked. That's not appropriate.
You're right about that. Private parts are the bits of your body which you cover up if you go swimming. Men don't need to cover their top halves when they're swimming. It's not an appropriate picture to send though.
Oh dear, he sent her a message. It says, send yours naked. Is this what you were talking about?
Yes, that is what I was talking about. So we just said that you shouldn't send pictures of your private parts.
You mean boobs? Of course they're private parts. You don't get your boobs out in the swimming pool.
Yes, absolutely right again. Oh dear, I can see a bit of boob in that picture she sent.
And he's replied, send pic of your top off. I hope she doesn't do it.
It looks like she has.
Oh.
Look, what's his next message saying?
It says, give me £50 or I'll show your family you naked. Ha ha. That is evil. She must be so embarrassed. Is she going to give him £50?
Well, there's two things she could do here.
Really? I think he's got no choice. Give him £50 or else he'll send her naked pictures to her family and she will be in deep trouble.
No, there's something else she could do. So yes, she could give him £50, but then he could ask for more money and more pictures of her private parts. Or she could take a screenshot of the message and tell an adult she trusts.
But then she'll get into trouble for sending naked pictures.
No, she won't get into trouble. If so, someone asks you for naked pictures, tell an adult you trust immediately. Even if someone made you do it and you have already sent naked pictures, you will not be in trouble.
But sending pictures of your private parts is bad.
Yes, but if someone made you do it and they threaten to tell other people or make you give them money, they are the bad people. Never give them money and don't be ashamed about anything that they forced you to do. It's not your fault.
I'm a bit scared now.
Don't be scared. Most people are nice. and they would never ask you to take your clothes off or send naked pictures. They are just a few people who are bad, and sometimes they pretend to be nice. That's the confusing bit. The main thing is that you have an adult you can trust. Don't ever be too scared to tell a trusted adult about something that is upsetting you. They will support you no matter what.
Okay, for Charlie, thanks for making me feel better. No naked pictures, and I say an adult if someone asks you to get naked or send pictures of your private parts. You won't be in trouble. Now it's your turn. Use Resource F in your pack to talk through the scenarios in your groups with your supporting adult.
Remember, if you have behaved like this or someone has done this to you, then that is a crime and the police must be involved.
If someone has committed mate crime against you, the police will want to know about it.
If someone has pretended to be your friend so that they can steal your money or force you to do things you don't want to do or use anything you have for themselves, the police will help you. Tell a trusted adult and ask them if they think this is mate crime.
The police are on your side and they are there to help you. You can talk to them.
Let's check in with our friends at Down Syndrome Scotland. They have been talking about this too.
Okay, so great to see you, Gregor and Cameron and Aidan again. Now, what we're talking about today is we're going to be talking about what it means sometimes when we talk about bad friends. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about bullying. And then we're going to talk about something called mate crime, which is quite a difficult thing to talk about, really, just because it can make us feel a bit uncomfortable sometimes. But I think we'll be all right. So we're going to just think for a start about friendships. So everybody here, you're all friends, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good friends? You like each other?
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You trust each other?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Good. So I'm going to think now about what it might mean to have a bad friend. You know, somebody who you think of, they are your friend, but they're maybe not a very good friend. They're a bit of a bad friend. There's some things that they do that you really don't like. Have you ever had a friendship like that?
Many times.
Many times, Cameron?
Yeah, many
Cool.
times.
Would you be comfortable telling us about an example of a
yeah.
bad friendship?
With one particular, her name is Bluebell.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your experience with Bluebell, Cameron.
And so I describe her as a bad friend, but enemy.
An enemy?
Yeah.
Oh, crumbs, that's definitely more than a bad friend. Okay, in what sense is Bluebell, do you think of Bluebell as your enemy?
And so basically, she gets is in my head. At times, she picks fights,
Okay,
and I can't handle her.
you just can't handle her. It sounds like she maybe just gets under your skin a bit. Does she get on your nerves?
Just when there's debts in high school, and she gets the teachers on her side.
Oh, okay. Oh, and how does that make you feel if you think she's getting the teachers on her side?
Outnumbered.
Outnumbered. Okay. So she's not very supportive. She's not really a great friend. What about you, Gregor? Have you ever had a bad friend, maybe at school?
Yeah, in college, I was to do my work, and then he asked me to be horrible. My friend was, but it take about friends, about feeling, and things like that.
Okay, so there's somebody in your class at college who gives you a bad feeling sometimes,
Yeah.
and they're a bit horrible. But are they a bad person, or do they just sort of annoy you a bit?
It's something dimly annoying me.
Just annoying, yeah. Okay, so they're
Yeah.
not actually a bad person. They just are a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what about you, Aidan? Have you ever been bullied, would you say?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's great. I'm really
No.
pleased to hear that.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is, if somebody was really nice to me and they said really nice things to me and they said, Kirsty, we think you're a great person. You're my best friend. You look great. You've got great personal style. I would think, oh, that's really nice. You know, I would think that they were definitely my friend. And if they said, can I borrow £20 from you? I promise to pay you back like next week. I would probably give them £20. I'd probably do that because I think, well, this person's my friend. They're always nice to me. I'll give them £20 because they're going to give me it back next week. And you might be thinking, oh, no, don't do it, Kirsty. But remember, I think this person is my friend. Well, what if it gets to next week and I say, can I have my £20 back? And they say, oh, no, sorry. I can't pay you back this week, but I need another £20 from you. I would maybe think, oh, they're my friend. They're nice to me. They say nice things to me. I'll give them another £20. But then what if that person is never paying me back? I'm going to realise, aren't I, that they're not really a good friend.
Yeah, I was realised in the same way by the tone of voice and the posture and the hand signs.
Okay, so you think you're really quite good at being able to read people. You can tell straight away whether you can trust somebody or not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you've got these skills, Cameron, because I know that I don't really have these skills and I can't always tell who is a good friend and who's just pretending to be my friend. So I don't have these skills. So if you saw this happening to me then, Cameron, what would be your advice if you know that I've given somebody £40 already? What would you be saying to me? Shall I keep giving them more money?
No. What I'll do is basically first I'll call my cousin Julie, and she'll come from my Uncle Paul, and he'll come.
Okay, so you've got a rescue plan for me when you can see what's going on.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
But not everyone's got an Auntie Julie and an Uncle Paul in the police. So there's different ways that people can do make crime. We've talked a bit about, you know, here's somebody who I think is my friend and I'm giving them lots of money. But I'm going to talk about something else now that's actually a bit difficult, okay? So what if that person who I think is my friend is then asking me to send photos of myself, maybe a selfie? Is that okay? What if I just have a friend and we're sharing selfies? Is that all right?
No.
Never?
Never. That would make them a hacker.
Make them a hacker. You think just sharing selfies on maybe Snapchat is just think that's not okay?
Yeah.
I do that with my friends. Do you ever send selfies to Amelia, Gregor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you send selfies back and forth
Aye.
and you just say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at lovely girl.
Amelia is a lovely girl indeed. You're definitely good friends, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good relationship. What if it was somebody you didn't know that well and you're maybe sharing selfies and then they ask you to send a photo of your private parts? Would you do that?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay, why is that not a good idea?
So, definitely not. Unless he's a doctor.
Unless it's a doctor. That's a good point. So you might have to go to a doctor's appointment if you have a problem with your private parts, then a doctor would need to look at it.
Yeah.
But does anybody else need to see that?
No.
Definitely not. That's a good point. And will the doctor ever ask for selfies on your mobile phone?
No.
Definitely not. That would not be professional, would it?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's have a look at the new words we have learned in this video. The word is bully, someone who regularly hurts us and is mean to us on purpose.
Mate crime, when people who pretend to be our friends to give them things like money or force us to do things we don't want to do. Mate crime is against the law.
Naked, without any clothes on. Mate crime is when someone pretends to be your friend to make you do bad things, like taking pictures of your private parts or makes you give them things like money. True or false?
True, this is mate crime, and you should tell a trusted adult and the police. People who do mate crime are nice to you when they want something from you. Is that true or false?
This is true. Someone who doesn't like the same TV show as you is a bully. True or false?
False. It's okay for your friends to like different things to you. It doesn't make them a bully. Bullies are mean on purpose to make you feel upset. Is that true or false?
True. If someone regularly makes you upset on purpose, they are a bully. Ask a trusted adult for help. Bullying and mate crime are both very serious. But remember, mate crime is against the law. If you're not sure if something is bullying or mate crime, you can talk to your trusted adult.
You will not get into trouble. Trusted adults and the police will give you advice to keep you safe.